Hello, this is Thomas Shifrer for ESFI. I'm joined right now by NV's mOOnGLaDe. mOOnGLaDe, how you feeling right now?
I'm feeling pretty good. Pretty satisfied with my tournament performance. Wish I could have made it a couple more rounds, but yeah, feeling good.
So like you said, you had a really strong showing in this tournament. You took out MC in the open bracket, Huck, Revival, and groups, and you lost to Daisy, unfortunately. So what can you attribute your recent success to? Is there any specific thing you've been practicing on, or?
I've just been really practicing a lot lately. Well, for a while now, kind of leading up to MLG and WCS, which is like a week away now. It's been my main focus. So yeah, I've just been putting in a lot of time practicing and fixing my games. And I guess after IM Cologne, I decided I really needed to fix my Zergverse Protoss, and happily know now that it's fixed and I can beat players like MC. So yeah, very happy.
So in this tournament, who are you most afraid of facing, considering you're coming out of the open bracket? I mean, it was an absolutely stacked bracket. There was a lot of difficult players to play against. So who did you really not want to come up against?
I really didn't want to come up against Life and Lenok. Their ZVZ is phenomenal, and I think at the moment that's my weakest matchup. So I was hoping I didn't get them, but I ended up getting Violet instead, who was also an amazing ZVZ. So, oh well.
So in your games against Daisy, and Daisy in general, this tournament has been having a lot of success against Zerg using various like immortal builds that are that are really powerful. So now that you've seen those builds and seen what they can do, what do you think you need to do differently to beat them? And
I think I almost had the solution. It was just more about positioning for me. I think I was really out of position in some of the fights, which really cost me the game, and I was kind of overreacting to his initial harassment a bit too much, which put me behind. So I think I kind of have the right solution to it. It's just a matter of doing it better, pretty much.
So when we were talking, you had to play a lot of matches in a row last night. You played from almost like 4 till like 2, just straight. So what are your thoughts on the MLG format? And do you think there's any way it can be improved for players so that they don't have to go through?
I think the cutoff time shouldn't be so late. I think it kind of makes for lesser quality of games, and it just makes players' performance and players in general just unhappy and tired. I think it's still a great test of skill. Like a player that can go from open bracket all the way to the championship bracket is a really good player, both with stamina and skill. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing the way they do it. It's just a really intense format. So I think it makes for an interesting tournament.
So now that you're out, unfortunately, I'm assuming you've been watching the games. Who do you think is going to be winning this tournament, and especially when you consider the result of Flash and Life that just happened?
Yes, I actually think Lenok is going to take it. I think he's got a really good chance now. He's playing really well, and if he doesn't have to worry about Life, which I think is the only major threat he has because of his ZVZ, I think he can take it. Yeah.
All right. So next up, in terms of tournament-wise, you have WCS. You qualified through the Oceania, right?
That's right.
And so that's going to be in China near to the end of the month. How's your preparations been going for that tournament? And
it's been going really good. I was kind of using this MLG as kind of like an indicator and like kind of like a confidence builder leading up to it. So I really wanted to do well here and kind of make a statement saying that I can mix it up, and I have improved. And I'm really happy with how I'm going, and I learned a lot from this tournament and what I need to improve on for WCS. So I'm going to go home and practice for another week and see what I can do.
Okay. Well, just a bit more generally now, just talking about the metagame in general. Do you feel that the metagame in Wings of Liberty is stagnating and it needs like HOTS to give it that infusion of new units and tactics and stuff like that? Or do you think there's still room for innovation within Wings of Liberty?
I think in ZVT, it can still be interesting. There's still some shifts in metagaming. You see Life's new style with very aggressive Zerglings, and MVP's counter to that style with his style of mech. And I think in Zergverse Terran it can still change. In Zergverse Protoss, probably like early to mid game, it's kind of can still vary a little bit in strategies, but late game it's kind of like Zerg has to go Broodlords and Festers, and Protoss has to go for a Deathball with Vortex. If either of these don't do that, they're going to lose to the other. And ZVZ has kind of always just been a Roach Hydra Infestor forever, which is kind of stagnant, I must say.
So you had your whole team, Envy, well, or at least a lot of them, come out to MLG Dallas this weekend. Has having your teammates here been kind of an advantage for you?
Oh, it's made it a whole lot more fun, that's for sure. It's a lot nicer to travel all this distance with your teammates and friends. And yeah, it was great to give Aussies, some other Aussies, some experience in the tournament and see what it's all like. So yeah, it's been a great experience, and I hope they come along next time.
So speaking a little bit about Australia, what's the esports scene looking like there? Is it growing?
It's steadily growing, I think. We have a number of top level players that all kind of compete on the same level, and we all mix it up against each other. And yeah, we got a very healthy competition there. Even though most of us are Zerg players, so it gets a bit tedious with the ZVZ. But yeah, our scene is looking healthy, the Australian scene. It's got a long way to go. But yeah, it looks promising at the moment, I think.
Okay. And so finally, what are your plans for the future? Are you going to just continue to try and, I mean, after WCS, of course, are you going to continue to try to go to foreign events? Do you have any plans to maybe stay in Korea for a little bit, qualify for GSO?
I'm very, very tempted to stay in Korea again. But I recently heard that the GOM house is closing, which is a tragedy for foreigners that want to go to Korea. But I'd like to find another way to get there and practice, probably next year sometime. It's definitely the best place to practice, and I really have been wanting to go back. And as for the future, yeah, I'll keep trying to attend as many foreign tournaments as I can. I really want to step it up actually and attend more, because I kind of go off the radar after like a tournament for a while. And it's not that I'm disappearing or stopping playing. It's just that it's hard to get out, and I just pretty much go home and practice until the next one. So yeah, I want to keep going with this, and I just want to get better and better.
Yeah. So it's like a hypothetical question. If you were in Korea and you managed to make it into Code A or Code S, even with a seed or something like that, how do you think you'd fare there? Like, do you think you're at that level that you can play against the top level Korean pros?
Well, I think it'll really depend on who I'm staying with at the time too, because I'm assuming seeing the GOM house is closed down, it'd have to be a Korean house or something. And if I could get like good support from whatever team I'm staying with, sure, I could mix it up with them. I usually find it's really stacked against the foreigners because, yeah, you have no one to practice with except ladder, and you got to be careful with your accounts, because if they know, they'll see all your strategies, and it just seems like it's very difficult for foreigners to break into. So I guess the right support system would be important.
Okay. Well, that's all the questions I have for you today, MOOnGLaDe. Thanks a lot for your time.
No, thank you very much.
Like to give any shout-outs?
Shout out to my sponsors, Plantronics Gamecom, Horizon, and Frag Labs. My team, MV, for getting us all out here. And yeah, all my supporters, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.